Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Tasker's Barbecue Supply. Today we're going to be showing you how you can cure and smoke your own pork belly to make your own bacon at home. Hey, before we get into the video, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button down in the bottom. You're going to be helping out our channel. And make sure if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell notification. That way you can be notified of all our future videos. Now, let's get rolling into the video. Alright everyone, we're back. What we're going to be showing you today is how you can take a whole uncured pork belly and make your own bacon at home. What's nice about doing this is if you have the main ingredients for your cure and you have access to a whole pork belly, it can be a little bit cheaper to make your own bacon at home. But the biggest thing is it's just something fun to do that you can say you made your own bacon and it tastes amazing. And you can tweak the flavors however you want to make the bacon taste the exact way you like. Now, what we have here today is we had 2 whole pork bellies that are uncured, unsalted, uncooked. The skin was removed already from the butcher, and I went ahead and cut each pork belly in half to make 4 smaller slabs that are a little bit easier to work with and a little bit easier to smoke. So we went ahead and washed them down and we cut them in half and they're ready to go. We also have our cure here from Butcher Barbecue. Now this cure is primarily consisted of salt, light brown sugar, and maple sugar, which is basically just 100% maple syrup turned into sugar. And then it does have some sodium nitrate in it. Now a lot of people don't like sodium nitrate, and that's fine. If you're going to be hot smoking this meat, you really don't have to have it. Most of what you eat anyway has it in it. But if you're one of those people that you don't like it, as long as you hot smoke this, you'll be all right. If you're cold smoking it, you really do need to have sodium nitrate in there. That way it gives it a proper cure. Now this is very easily made at home, but we're a Butcher Barbecue dealer. They make this. It is called their Sweeter Than Sweet Ham and Bacon Cure. And it is a very good cure. They pre-mix everything for you. It comes in a 1.75 pound bag that mixes up with 1 gallon of water and makes cure. Now you can inject this. The way I like to do it is I just put it in the bag with the pork belly and then just let it go that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to mix that up, how to get your pork bellies prepped, and then we're going to get them in the fridge so that they can cure for a while. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and slide this pork belly out of the way. Now I would like to thank a friend of mine who raises his own hogs. He actually was sending a couple of these hogs to butcher and contacted us and said, hey, would you like any of this meat? And I told him, I said, absolutely. I said, I'd love to get a couple whole bellies so that we can make some bacon on the channel. And he hooked us up awesome with a couple whole pork bellies. One of these is actually going to go to him. That way he can experience some of our home-cured bacon. But he was nice enough to give us this meat. That way we could do it for the channel. So what we're going to do, and this is just filtered water. I don't like using tap water in a cure process, just my preference. So I ran this through the filter. It is just room temperature water. Doesn't have to be hot. It's actually good that it's not hot. You don't want hot water going on this cure. You can use cold water, it's fine. I just use room temperature. What I got is a gallon of water here. And then we're going to mix all 1.75 pounds of this cure in with this water. And then that will make basically our brine. So let's get this mixed in. All right, and we're just going to mix this up till it all dissolves. All right, right, we have all of our cure mixed in with our water. Now I'm just going to go ahead and snap a lid on this just to make it a little bit easier when we pour it. And what I've also got here is I've got 4 1-gallon Ziploc bags. And what we're going to do is we're going to put each one of these into its own Ziploc bag. And then we're going to pour 1/4 of this gallon of mixed brine into each bag. We'll flatten it out, try to get as much air out as possible. Then we're going to throw it in the fridge. Now what we're going to do is each day we're going to flip it over. So every single day, flip it back and forth. I'm going to let this go for probably about 3 to 4 days. I don't have to go super long because this isn't super thick. If you have a lot thicker piece, you know, getting up 1.5 inches, close to 2 inches, you need to go longer. You need to probably go closer to 5 or 6 days. If you have a really thin piece, you can go closer to 2 days maybe. Mine's kind of right in the middle, so I'm gonna shove for probably 3, maybe 4 days, depending on what happens. And we're just gonna cure that. So let's go ahead and get them in the bags. Now what I have to help us a little bit here is I've grabbed a bowl. And what's gonna help us with the bowl is we're gonna set our bag down inside the bowl. And this just helps to keep from making as big of a mess. So we're going to take one of our pork bellies, like I said, still fat on, but the skin has been removed. So we're going to take that pork belly, we're going to put it down in here. Now I am going to try to kind of spread that out as much as possible, but with just gallon bags, you just get it as close as you can. So we're just going to put it in there quite like that. And then we're going to take 1/4 of our gallon here. Let's see where we're at. We need a little bit more. So what's nice about having one with markings on it, you can see exactly how much you're putting in each bag. So now we're just going to try to take as much air out of this as we can. Just like that. And then there we go. So this is just going to sit in this brine, and like I say, now you can kind of flatten this pork belly out a little bit and get it worked flat. And this is just going to sit in the refrigerator. Now I'm going to put it in a pan so in case we have any leaks or anything like that, it doesn't leak all over the refrigerator. But we're just going to do this with the rest of the 3 pork bellies, and we'll be back here in just a moment. All right, we got the rest of our 3 pork bellies put in the bags and filled up with our brine. And what you can see I did is I set them both in an aluminum pan. That way, in case there's any leaks, the pan will catch it and we won't lose any of our brine and we won't make a mess everywhere. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to put these in our refrigerator. And every day what I'm going to do is I'm going to not only turn them, but I'm going to swap their position. So you'll obviously have one on top of the other. So they're going to get flipped and they're going to get rotated every single day. Like I said, we're going to go for about 3 or 4 days and see where we're at. And then we will pick up our video there, and we'll see you guys back when the brine is done. All right, everyone, welcome back. Now, originally we said we were going to try to cure these bacons for about 3 to 4 days. We had some stuff come up, and we ended up not being able to get them out of the cure and on the smoker on the 4th day. So they did actually stay in for 6 days. I don't think that's going to hurt anything because this is a liquid cure. So after about the 3rd or 4th day, it's just going to penetrate that meat a little bit more. So this shouldn't hurt anything, but just so you guys know, these did actually go for 6 days. So what we've done now is I've taken each individual bacon slab and I've taken it out of the pack with the liquid and I've rinsed it off in some cold water really well because you want to get the outside of that cure off, because if you don't get it off the outside, it's going to leave a really salty taste to the outside. You want that cure to soak in, but you don't want any to be left over. So we just took and rinsed the outside off really well with some clean cold water, and then I patted each of them dry and packed them in here with some paper towels and let them sit for about 10 minutes in the refrigerator just to try to dry out a little bit more. The exterior doesn't have to be 100% dry, but you want it to be at least as dry as possible. You don't want any excess moisture on the outside of these if you can help it. So now basically all we're going to do is, I have some jerky racks here, and I think these are going to work really well to get a lot of air circulation around this. And instead of them setting right on the grill grates, they'll actually be set on these thinner wire mesh racks. And then I can stack all of these on top of each other and actually put them on the cooler side of our grill. That way they stay at a little bit lower temperature rather than having them spaced out all along the grill and having different temperatures for each bacon slab. So that's my method. You may have a little bit different method. If you don't have jerky racks, you can absolutely set it on the grill grates. Shouldn't hurt anything. I just know that most pellet grills and a lot of smokers, you have hot spots and cool spots. This way we have everything stacked over top of each other, so we'll have a slight difference in temperature between the bottom rack and the top rack, but we can rotate that. And I like having the thinner mesh for the bacon so that it doesn't slump or have huge grill marks in it. It's just got the thin mesh marks on the bottom. But that's more just for presentation. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and set our grill grates up, or our jerky racks up here. So we're going to take and set the bottom rack up. And you can see another nice thing is you have a drip pan underneath to catch any of the drippings that you may have, and you have a lot of space in between each of these racks. That way your bacon slabs will set perfectly. So let's take our paper towel off the top one here. And we're just going to set this slab right in the center. And then we're just going to stack all of these bacon slabs up. Alright, just like that. So now we have all of our bacon slabs stacked on our jerky rack, and they're ready to go in the smoker. We're going to be firing up our RecTeq Bull 700, and I'm going to be putting it on the extreme smoke setting, which is roughly about 180 degrees. So we are going to be what we would consider hot smoking these. If we would cold smoke, basically the only way we can really do that with the setup that I have is using the Amazing Smoke Tube. Basically, you could do that. You could use any of your smokers or your grill, even a propane grill, any type of a housing that will hold in the smoke. You can put that Amazing tube in, light your pellets up, and you could basically cold smoke. The downfall of cold smoking is you have to be very, very careful of the temperatures. Once you reach a certain temperature, it basically turns into a hot smoke, and it changes the compound of the meat a little bit, and you can get into what they call the danger zone too. So you have to be very careful with that. Not that it's too much harder, but this is a lot more simple method, and we're not doing it very, very hot. We're not doing 250, 275, anything like that, where it's basically going to render down all the fat and cook the bacon. You will still, once we're done with this, you will still actually have to slice this up and cook it just like you would normal bacon. But you'll notice that the outside's going to look a little bit more done than like your standard bacon you get from the store. But like I said, this is a lot more simple method, especially if you have a RecTeq that has the low smoke setting, or maybe you have a Green Mountain that has the ultra low smoke setting where you can get down into 150, 160. That's even better. Anything basically below 200 is ideal. The lower, the better. So we'll get the grill fired up and we'll meet you out there here in just a few minutes. All right, everyone, we're out at our RecTeq Bull 700. We're running Cooking Pellets Perfect Mix today. The Perfect Mix is going to be that nice flavor profile for this bacon, but not too strong. With this being a cured bacon like it is, and kind of a what I would consider a soft meat, so you have a belly meat with a lot of fat, you don't want to go anything too harsh because you're going to start getting a lot of bitter flavor on there. So the Cooking Pellets Perfect Mix is going to be a nice mixture of a lighter wood that has a lot of flavor profile. So we have our RecTeq set on the low setting, which is going to give us the extreme smoke. We have some nice smoke rolling now. We're sitting at about 144 degrees right now. It'll probably come up to about the 170 area is where mine usually runs, depending on the ambient temperature. So let's go ahead and put these on the grill. Now, one thing I did do is our stack was a little too high with the extra tall racks. So what I did was I moved two of the smaller bacons onto the same rack. It's still good because there's still space between them, still going to get a lot of airflow between all of these bacons, so we get that smoke up underneath and get some good texture all the way around. But I did go ahead and move those. So let's go ahead and get those put on the grill now. I'm just going to center them in the grill. We may actually move just slightly over to the left-hand side because that is the cooler side of the grill. We'll go ahead and get this shut down now. And you can hear that fan cycling on and off. That's what it's going to do in that low setting. It's going to cycle that fan on and off, and it's going to slowly trickle pellets in so that it keeps the temperature nice and low and gives you a nice steady smoke stream. So we're just going to let these go for a little while. This is the first time we've ever done bacon, so I don't know an exact time frame yet. We're just going to come out every about 20 minutes or so and check on it. Then we'll let you guys know where we're at when we go ahead and decide to pull these off. So we'll see you back here in just a few minutes. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's been just under 3 hours and our bacon is ready to pull off the grill. Now you can see we're still running at 180 degrees. And we have a nice thin layer of smoke rolling the whole time, and that's what we want to get on this bacon. We want a nice steady stream of a light smoke with the lowest temperature possible, so we get really nice smoke flavor on this bacon, but we don't actually cook it. And I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second. You can tell that the outside has some smoke to it and has gotten a little bit of heat, but the bacon is not cooked. The fat's still intact, it hasn't rendered down. In fact, there's very, very few drippings at all, which if you know cooking bacon, if you don't have much grease dripping or fat dripping, you're not cooking bacon. So we haven't really cooked this. We've just gotten a little bit of heat to it. We've basically dried out the outer skin of it and gotten some smoke flavor on it. So again, this has taken us, we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes is right where I'm at. So between the 2.5 and 3 hour mark is probably where you're going to find that sweet spot. I did come out here about every 20 to 30 minutes and check on it. At about the hour and a half mark, we went ahead and rotated our trays. So we took the one on the bottom, placed it on top, and vice versa. That way we could get some even smoke and heat on all these bacon slabs here. And they've turned out really well. We'll get you some close-ups of them. So now we're just ready to go ahead and pull this off the grill. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these and just pat any grease or anything off of them. Just pat them down with paper towel, and then we're going to go ahead and put these in the refrigerator and let them completely chill for several hours. Then we'll do the slicing. Now that's very important because the downfall is to bacon at the state it's in right now. It's not fully cooked, but it is very soft right now because it's been in 180 degree temperature. So it's going to be very, very difficult to slice it as is. You almost have to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down and stiffen back up so that you can slice it properly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these slabs of bacon off. We're going to get them inside and put it in the refrigerator, and then we'll be back here in just a little bit when we go ahead and slice this bacon up. All right, everyone, we're back. We went ahead and let these pork bellies set in the refrigerator overnight so that they could get nice and cool. They can harden up some. You can see they're nice and firm now. It's going to make it a lot easier for slicing this rather than trying to do it while it's hot. So we just let them sit in the refrigerator overnight in the pan, no coverings on them, and that kind of dries out the exterior a little bit too, because you don't want the exterior too wet when you try to vacuum seal this after you slice it. So now all we're going to do is we've got our new Dow Strong slicing knife out, and we're just going to slice this, not super thin, but not real thick like fresh side would be. We do like a thick cut bacon, so that's kind of the thickness we're going to be going for. Now obviously, you know, you're doing this at home. It doesn't matter if you mess up on a couple slices, make it a little too thick, a little too thin. It's whatever you prefer. So let's slice a couple slices up here, and then we're going to go ahead and fry some of this up for you guys and try it out so that you can see what it looks like after we fry it. And that way you guys will know exactly how this turned out to the complete finished product. So before we slice this up the rest of the way, just want to kind of show you guys here the thickness we're doing. Like I said, it's not super thick, but this turned out amazing. We'll get some close-ups here of it. The inside of the bacon looks perfect. It got a nice smoke penetration, but nothing you know, too heavy. So I think our times were just about perfect. You can still see the inside of this meat is nice and fresh. It's not cooked, so you still do have to fry this. So I think our times and temperatures were spot on. We're going to go ahead and fry a couple pieces up after we get the rest of this sliced. That way you can see that, and you can kind of get an idea of how this turned out as a finished product after it's fried. So let me get the rest of this sliced up, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. All right, we have our bacon all fried up here. So let's tear this one here in half and have a taste. You can see I like a thick cut bacon, and I don't fry mine super crispy. So this is just kind of a, you know, more of a rare bacon. I don't want to say rare, but more of a medium, I guess I should say. But let's take a taste test here. That is awesome. So you can definitely taste the smoke flavor in that. It's not overbearing. It's just kind of a background note, which is what I was kind of aiming for. I don't want anything that's too smoky on bacon. I just like that background hint of a smoke flavor. It does have a lot of salt in it because it's cured, but you get that back end sweetness because we used that Butcher's Barbecue sweeter than sweet bacon and ham cure. So you do get that back end sweetness into it. You get a little bit of that smoke flavor into it, and it tastes really, really good. So I would say for our first time ever trying this, this was a ballpark hit. So if you ever think about trying your own bacon, make sure you hit us up. Try out some of Butcher Barbecue sweeter than sweet bacon and ham cure, and follow this video, and it should lead you on the way to perfection. I appreciate everyone watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.